Number one, I am a rock rib conservative, unabashedly. So many of you listen to the program know that. And when I talk about conservatism, do for self is as conservative as it comes. I'm a capitalist. I believe in the free enterprise system. I believe that people need to get paid. They call me Get Paid Wade. I want everybody to eat. Everybody's got to eat. Now here's the deal. I invite your participation going forward. I want you to continue to watch CWU-TV and listen to the Kim Wade Show at WYAB 103.9 FM, WYAB.com, Monday through Fridays from 4 to 6. Continue to listen in, add your input, and see if we can't be the example for all of America to point to and say, they're doing it right down in Jackson, Mississippi. Message in there for a believer. Welcome to Wade 2025 on CWU-TV on YouTube, CWU-TV Network on Facebook, CWU-TV on Rumble. Call 601-397-6752 for your comments. Leave your comments and like and share and subscribe to all our channels. Well, welcome back, folks. We're here at Wade 2025. We've got a couple topics today we want to touch on. They're all going to tie together. But first of all, we want to talk about a video that's been produced by people who hope to see Jackson come back, stand in the glory of its citizens who have a desire to stay here and make this city work. And it's a video called Greater City, Mississippi. And it's put together by various stakeholders throughout the community who have come together on their own volition. This is not a government effort, as it were. These are just people who want to see Mississippi move forward. Now, we're going to play the video in its entirety. It is also on various social media platforms, but you're going to be seeing it here at CWU-TV Wade 2025. So with no further ado, I want you to look at it. It's about 6 minutes long, but it's a vision of what Jackson could be. And prominent in all this is the two-lake or one-lake project that has been pretty much approved, and we're just waiting for the final paperwork to be signed off on and move forward. But this is what Jackson's going to be looking like in the next 5 or 10 years with your help, participation, and support. If you would, let the video play. That's a vision that we can get behind, folks. That's Greater City, Mississippi. I encourage you to check it out on social media, Facebook, places like that, or you can just also refer them to Wade 2025 CWU-TV, Wade 2025, and see for yourself the possibilities that Jackson has. The question is, can Jackson overcome the obstacles to take advantage of the opportunities that this group is trying to bring to Jackson, Mississippi? I would encourage you folks that in our next segment, we're going to be talking about those obstacles, and we're going to talk about those opportunities and how we can increase the chances of us being successful with some, if not all, those projects there. Those are doable projects. And people talk about the things that have happened in the past. We're talking about what's going to happen in the future, because that's where we're going to spend the rest of our lives, and that's where our kids are going to reside. So we're going to make things available to them, those opportunities, through those projects you just saw there with Greater City, Mississippi. I'm encouraged. Now, I was able to, in the Northside Sun this past week, they have an article from this Greater City, Mississippi group, and it gives the names of the people involved, et cetera, stakeholders, and you might want to read that article. I do encourage you to stay tuned for the next segment, and our call-in number is 397-6752. If you have a question or comment, we can get to you. But here's the opportunity for you to make Jackson better, not just through your vote, but through a changing of attitudes and the attitudes of those around you. Folks, I'm excited about Jackson. I'm excited about the future. And again, as I think Barack Obama said about, we're the ones we've been waiting for, you and I. So again, in our next segment, we'll be talking about those opportunities and the obstacles for Jackson, Mississippi. And remember, that video was called Greater City, Mississippi. We'll be right back.
I am Chef Shishi, the owner of Just in Time, the featured chef of the JMMF Culinary Kitchen, where we farm-to-fork centered, healthier, all-natural foods in the urban community.
Call 01-397-6752. Call in now at 601-397-6752.
All right, welcome to Wade 2025 on CWU-TV on YouTube, CWU-TV Network on Facebook, CWU-TV on Rumble. You can also call 601-397-6752 and add your ideals to the marketplace of ideals, your nickels and dimes, if you would. You can leave your comments, like and share, and subscribe to all of our channels. All right, folks, we're back, segment 2. We're talking about the opportunities and obstacles for Jackson. You just saw a vision put together at great cost, I might add, to create that 6-7 minute video to show you all the possibilities. And so much of it's centered around the One Lake Project, or the Two Lake Project as it's called, One Lake, Two Lakes. Either way, they're gonna create an opportunity through the water, so we'll be able to connect onto the reservoir up there, but also have shoreline opportunities here in the downtown area. They're talking about putting a Bellhaven beach there, boat docks, entertainment district, amphitheaters, trails, the whole 9 yards. Folks, that's going to require everybody working together, which brings me to how do we take advantage of those opportunities given the obstacles that we're facing now? Now, the obstacles that we're facing now, yes, we know about the water, the sewer, the crime, the education, yada, 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 on and on and on. The infrastructure. The common theme with all of that is money. How do you finance it? How do we get enough tax dollars to balance the system for the services that are being required, even for now, let alone what we're trying to do with the vision that you just saw there? Well, one of the things we're going to have to do, we're going to have to change some attitudes. And we're going to have, there's a group of individuals who are taking advantage of the present setup, and it's understandable. I mean, that was their opportunity. But now we're getting diminishing returns to the point where it's not even feasible that we can continue on doing what we're doing. Well, Kim, what are you talking about? Well, we have a system here in the city of Jackson, the set-aside program. Now, it started out being a great idea, yada, 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 but what we have right now is just a group of people who we, the taxpayers, are subsidizing to help them become, quote unquote, business people in some area of industry, whether it's construction or engineering or legal, whatever. You know, all that sounds good on paper, but now it's costing too much. We can't afford it. It's certainly not the way it's being done right now. So we're going to have to reevaluate how we're doing that. And there are going to be the howling and gnashing of teeth that this is yada, yada, yada. Look, Hoss, we understand about the discrimination that went on beforehand, yada, yada, and there's nothing we can do about that. But one of the things we're not going to be doing is that the people who were victims of that discrimination, which is 80% of the Jackson population, being the ones who have to pay for it. Because all we're doing is basically tithing to a group of individuals who set up their own little scoring system on how they can get contracts with the city of Jackson, which in too many instances has resulted in the taxpayers having to pay 1 and 2 and 3 times to get the same work done. We're paying people top dollar for contracts for goods and services that are not being delivered or being delivered in a slipshod, semi-chaotic manner, and we can't even use the services or the product when they get done tendering it. No, we're not doing that anymore. And we're not even going to apologize for it. We're simply not going to do it like that. Now, what I would say to the set-aside contractors and everyone else out there, look, guys, you need to come sit down and discuss with us. If I were to be your mayor, then with me, how are you going to help make this city better? Not how the city, the question is not going to be how can the city make you richer. The question is how can you make the city better? Now, if you get rich in the process of making the city better, hey, we don't have a problem with that. But this present setup, you're giving us, we, the taxpayers, the green weenie. We don't appreciate that. So I'm just going to tell you now, you're on a losing trajectory. If your goal is, to heck with what Kim Wade say, we're going to keep this system at all costs. No, you're not. No, you're not. It's going to change. Now, you can get out in front of the change and be a part and beneficiary of the change, or you can get ran over by the change. Hey, I don't mean maybe or perhaps. That is going to happen. Whether I become mayor or not, one of the purposes of me throwing my hat in the ring as a contender is to bring this new conversation that we're not going to allow you to have this using your contacts on the national scene, the Derek Johnsons, the Ben Jealous at the Sierra Club, or the Eric Holders with his top flight legal team out there in California, to come in here and put pressure on all the rest of us to continue to give you a disproportionate amount of our tax dollars, and you give us back work that we can't even use, appreciate. Folks, we're not going to keep doing that. So you need to figure out, if you're going to protect your interests, how can you protect ours? Because I remember when Maynard Jackson became mayor of Atlanta, one of the things he did to the city fathers of that time, he called them in, he said, look, y'all can't make all the money. Everybody's got to eat. So you need to figure out how everybody's going to eat. I'm giving you that same message, how everybody's going to eat. Now, if your position is, they ain't getting nothing as far as I'm concerned, okay. I'm just going to tell you now, you're wrong. And you're going to be left out in the cold, because at the end of the day, we're not going to pay you 25 to 50 cents on a dollar more for services simply because you set up a little scam point system, called minority set-aside criteria so you can get advantage over the rest of us. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So again, there's enough work in the city that needs to be done that you can bring your specialties and your services to bear on, and everybody benefit. But we're not going to do it. I repeat, we're not going to do it where you're the only one benefiting from. We give you a $19 million paycheck, and you go out and buy a $573,000 Maybach Mercedes-Benz, and if you took that $573,000, now remember, you're the minority set-aside guy. You want to help minorities get into business. And yet when you take your profit and go out and buy a $573,000 Mercedes-Benz, let's just say at $10,000 increments, you could have put 57 barbershop owners, beauty shop owners, car repair shop owners, somebody trying to get in the prosthesis business where they sell legs and arms and feet to people who have them missing with diabetes or whatever. You could have helped 57 people get into business. But you didn't do that. You took your money that you got from being a set-aside Negro who was getting repaid for the damage that was done to the entire black community. You took your profit and spent it on a consumer item. So how is that fair to everybody else? Let me tell you what the policies are going to be going forward. We're going to be looking at how many people we can put in the game, whether through a good job or a good business investment, where they end up creating job opportunities if for just one more person, but also being able to put a roof over their head and that one employee. If we can increase the number of rooftops we have in Jackson, we can help maintain the tax base to fund all these ideas like you saw in that video. But the way these set-aside Negroes are going about it, they just want money for themselves, using this whole thing about, well, you know, we were discriminated against. Okay, well, why you got to discriminate against me? When you leave an elderly couple like Miss Silky and Bud with a $3,000 plus water bill, and you know their service to the community down through the years, and you know they ain't used that amount of water, you didn't give them any relief, but we got to keep giving you relief? Hoss, you got it tangled and twisted. And see, no other black man has stood up and stands up and stood up and tell you what I'm telling you now. And I'm telling you now, things are going to change. I don't mean maybe, I don't mean perhaps. You guys have to change. Everybody's got to eat. Right now, you're telling us that, hey man, I don't see how I can cut this pie any thinner. I'm just telling you now, bro, everybody's got to eat. Now, if you have a problem with that, I understand that you need to put your money on that other candidate. But for those of you who want to see change that you can benefit from or your kids can benefit from, I'm your Huckleberry. Because I'm going to work with the people who put together that video of a greater Jackson, and we're going to make it happen, despite the efforts of those who are trying to tear it down for their own personal aggrandizement. Guys, I ain't trying to cape up and be no Superman or nothing. We're just going to do what's right. I ain't buying that old race car no more. Folks, when we come back, we're going to talk about a highlight of an interview I did with Socrates Garrett over at WMPR Thursday. We'll be right back.
I am Chef Shishi, the owner of Just in Time, the featured chef of the JMMF Culinary Kitchen, where we prepare farm-to-fork-centered, healthier, all-natural foods in the urban community.
Call in now at 601-397-6752. Call in now at 601-397-6752.
All right, welcome to Wade 2025 on CWU-TV on YouTube, CWU-TV Network on Facebook, CWU-TV on Rumble. You can also call 601-397-6752. We're live. You can leave your comments. You can like and share and subscribe to all the channels. All right, folks, we're back. The final segment. You know, I was just talking about the obstacles that could hold the city of Jackson back, and these obstacles are real, okay? And to dovetail into that, we're going to continue on I did an interview at WMPR on Thursday. That was the Dr. Henderson, Eldridge Henderson show, along with Socrates Garrett of Garrett Enterprises, along with Sherry Jones. You know, it was an interesting interview, and they had me in. They wanted to know what my thoughts were about, since I say that I want to offer myself up for mayor as a candidate. And they asked me a series of questions. And one of the things, Socrates Garrett, Garrett Enterprises, he was pointing out to me the stats on the number of contracts black get on the city level, county level, state level, and how the majority of the contracts are going to whites and yada, yada, yada. And the fact that when it comes to voting, 60% of whites will vote for, won't vote for a black candidate and yada, yada, yada. And I'm thinking, okay, so what does all this have to do with the price of eggs? Because number one, you have a problem, you being Socrates, you have a problem with 60% of the whites voting for anybody but a black person. But then again, you have no problems with the Voting Rights Act requiring that states that are under the Voting Rights Act, such as Mississippi, basically create super districts of black folks who happen to be all liberals. So you have to have a black voting age population of over 60%. I think it's almost close to 70%. But let's just say it's 60%. So you got a district being created by government fiat that's predominantly black, who will predominantly vote for a black person, because in many cases they're not going to get any other choices. That's okay when the government tells it's okay. But it's not okay for people on their own volition to vote for who they want to vote for. That don't even make sense, Sock. So let's move on to your set-aside analogy about 60% of the contracts are going to whites, and many of the whites are disguising themselves as minorities, females, and getting the contracts, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so that's the rules, right? You have no problems with the rules when the government creates a black voting age population district that's slanted, tilted, and overly weighted to blacks. You have no problems with that. But if there's one where it's overly weighted towards white, then you have a problem. Explain to me why you're not a racist. Make it make sense. Pull the sense out of the nonsense that you're talking and hand it to me so I can take a look at it. Because right now, I can't get my head around it, homie. But here's the deal. Let's say the city of Jackson has a majority black council board. Hinds County has a majority black supervisory board. So what can you say is the reason why blacks aren't getting their share in those two instances? Because for whatever reason you give, it disproves what you're saying on the state level. Because obviously there are other factors at play other than race. Because in the case of Jackson, in the case of Hinds County, it's all black folks. Case of the school board, all black folks. Make it make sense. Because there are other extenuating circumstances. And you pointed out, Socrates quite accurately pointed out, that many times blacks have problems getting bonds and the finances together to do these things. And which brings me back to what I said in the second segment. You get a minority set-aside person who gets a $19 million windfall, and what he wants to do, rather than invest in other black people, he goes out and buy the top of the line Mercedes-Benz, the Maybach. He wasn't thinking about trying to, man, I can take this $573,000 and help somebody get a bond so they can bid on a contract. He wasn't thinking that. But when he got his, he wanted us, the taxpayers, to help co-sign, subsidize, and kick in some money so he could get in the game. And then when he got in the game, what did he do? He wanted to go bling bling. He wanted to floss and flex. He wanted to get the gold grill in his mouth and the gold grill on the Mercedes. And all I'm saying, dude, I thought you were just saying about the lack of opportunities. And then when you got the opportunity, the first thing you did, you took your money down there and about all the cars you could buy, you buy the car that was created by the Nazi war machine, Daimler-Benz. So obviously this whole thing about black and white you ain't really concerned with once you get the green. Folks, this is all I'm saying. Let's keep it real. Ain't nothing these Negroes can tell me about the black game. I was with Minister Farrakhan for 15 years. I know all about the game. Minister Farrakhan loved black folks. Socrates love black folks. The set-aside Negroes love black folks. The black for a living folks love black folks. The free-to-land Negroes love black folks. But guess what? The only one the black folks getting the green weenie from are the free-to-land Negroes, the set-aside Negroes, and the set-aside, the black for a living Negroes. Because every chance they get to help out, they don't do it. You doubt what I'm saying? Look at the state of the city now. We got an all-black school board, we got an all-black council, all-black supervisory board, and the streets are impassable. I went over there by Jackson State on, I think it was Mary Lane, and Pascagoula. Dude, you couldn't even turn the corner. The pothole was big as this desk and deep as this desk. And yet we're spending 25 cents to 50 cents extra on a dollar so we can be able to say that we created a black millionaire. Hoss, I am not interested in that, bro. I want some thousandaires. I want some brothers who can get some jobs done with their hands fixing this city. And then they can go out and buy a house. We need 100 houses more than one millionaire just building a bigger house. This ain't rocket science. What we have are some selfish Negroes. We got some blacks who simply will not share. And they're in positions of power. They've got into elected office. And I'm just saying, 2024, 2025, we're breaking all this up at the door. I don't mean maybe. I don't mean perhaps. So one of my campaign slogans, give me 4, I will break it up at the door. I don't mean maybe. I don't mean perhaps. You give me 4, I'll break it up at the door. You give me 8, I'm going to set the city straight. Because so much of what we're talking about here is a change of attitude. And you got some folks who have the attitude that they don't have to change, that everything belongs to them, that we, the black community, we're their oyster. Hoss, I'm just telling you now. If we don't start creating more opportunities for our kids, these kids are going to put them tools on us. They're going to stick them guns in our ribs at the red light and take everything we got, including our lives. This is not necessary. What we have are some selfish individuals who have to hear what I'm telling them right now. They don't like it, but guess what? I don't like what they're doing to me. So what I'm supposed to do, sit silent? Bro, I ain't built like that. I ain't threaded like that. I'm a grown man, dog. And so this is what they don't want to hear. And they don't want to hear it from me. Oh, you the white man's Negro, whatever. Brother, you make money off white folks too. One of the things we're going to do during the mayoral campaign, we're going to deal with these black racists that are holding Jackson back. All them black folks who secretly told Philip Gunn and some of those other legislators down at I'm really for the Capital City complex, but I don't have the courage of my conviction to stand before my people and say it. And then you go out and call people a racist when you supported it behind the scenes. Folks, we're going to get some men in there. We're going to get some folks who will pee like a boy dog in public and let them know I'm a man, a full-grown man. All this old stuff they're doing right now is weak. And I told Socrates that on his radio program. I wish they would play the rebroadcast of that because they had it streaming, so I know it was live. Why they pulled it down? Well, I know, because I came hard. I came spraying that testosterone. I came like a man. You ain't got to walk around with your hat in your hand looking down at your shoes. These Negroes put their pants on one leg at a time like the rest of us. And I'm just telling y'all now, listen to what I'm saying. Everybody's got to eat. Now, what I'm saying even make white folks uncomfortable because they want to be liked by black folks. I don't care who likes me. I ain't going to just have my tax dollars ripped off like that. Y'all giving me the green weenie and tell me to grin? Oh, you got the wrong huckleberry, bro. You can look at the size and shape of my head and see I ain't built for this. I ain't going along with this. Folks, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Conservative, unabashedly so. Many of you listen to the program know that. And when I talk about conservatism, do for self is as conservative as it comes. I'm a capitalist. I believe in the free enterprise system. I believe that people need to get paid. They call me get paid wage. I want everybody to eat. Everybody's got to eat. Now here's the deal. I invite your participation going forward. I want you to continue to watch CWU-TV and listen to the Kim Wade Show at WYAB 103.9 FM, WYAB.com, Monday through Fridays from 4 to 6. Continue to listen in, add your input, and see if we can't be the example for all of America to point to and say, they're doing it right down in Jackson, Mississippi. Now there's a message in there for a believer.